I've been in your waters. I know I can for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other.
Last winter, I went on a ski trip to Killington in the state of Vermont. If you're ever in the Northeast, go check it out because Killington's an absolutely wonderful resort. It was so cold. A snowstorm hit on the night that we went up. It was -20 wind chills on the mountain for the next 2 days that we skied. And that is definitely the coldest temperatures I've ever dealt with, especially while skiing. But I had a blast. You had to make sure everything was covered up completely and your mask was a good mask that wouldn't fog. But man, it was an awesome trip and going back this year. But the reason I tell you about this is because at the B&B that we stayed at, it was kind of like a condo / hotel type of deal. And there was a restaurant / bar. And so we spent our evenings there. But they had a dish but they had a Brussels sprouts dish. And don't turn it off. Oh, slow down. I know when you hear Brussels sprouts, you're like, what? I didn't tune into this channel for Brussels sprouts. But I'm telling you, the twist they put on Brussels sprouts was absolutely amazing, and it fits perfectly with barbecue. My wife had been preparing roasted Brussels sprouts, I don't know, for about a year or so before that, and I was starting to enjoy them. Before that, I had never eaten Brussels sprouts. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably haven't messed with them either. But if you do it the way that I'm about to show you, you're gonna have a new favorite barbecue side like I do. I absolutely love these things and make them all the time. Let's make some barbecue bacon Brussels sprouts with a balsamic reduction. So I'm gonna smoke the Brussels sprouts on my Rectech. I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the Rectech and I'm gonna set it to 350. You can smoke the Brussels sprouts on whatever pit you have. As long as it's some type of smoker, it's gonna work out great. For the balsamic reduction, I'm gonna use 2 cups of balsamic vinegar. I'm going to use a ½ cup of light soy sauce to help keep the sodium content down. And then I'm going to use just a dash of some sesame seed oil. And this just gives it a nice little flavor, nice flair. I'm going to stir that up and then just let that simmer for about an hour until it's reduced to about 1/3 its original volume. Now the secret ingredient. We're gonna go ahead and put an entire pack of thick cut bacon on the smoker, and we're gonna bring it to whatever texture it is that you like your bacon to. I like mine just a little bit crispy, so it's probably gonna take about 12 to 15 minutes. Now it's time for the Brussels sprouts. And I got 2 packs of Brussels sprouts, and these are really large Brussels sprouts. Just know the cooking time is gonna vary depending on the size and amount of the Brussels sprouts that you're using. Snip the ends off of them, slice them in half, and then take off the outer leaf and make sure there's no dirt or bugs there. You may have to take off an additional leaf if you find any. Next up, we're gonna drizzle them with some balsamic vinegar, with some sesame seed oil, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And now we're gonna shake them up, get them nice and coated with all these flavors and oils, and then we're gonna season them. Seasoning's up to you. I like to use a garden vegetable, kind of a generic type of seasoning. I just think, you just want a little bit of pop, a little bit of flavor on these guys. But the smoke and the balsamic vinegar and the reduction are really going to be the stars of the show. Just a little bit of seasoning here and shake them again.
All right, we're one step closer. Now we need to go ahead and get them on some wire racks. This is going to allow us to get smoke all the way around the Brussels sprout. Now, what you want to make sure of is that the leaves that fall off as you're handling the Brussels sprouts, don't discard them. Make sure you put them all up on the tray, and you may need to kind of stack them on top of each other. The leaves themselves, you'll see in a little bit, they're like the special treat of this whole dish. For me, anyway. They'll crisp up real nice. Go ahead and pull the bacon off the rectac once it gets to the, the texture or the firmness that you're looking for. Mine's just barely on the crispy side. Love it like that. Then we're going to go ahead and put the Brussels sprouts on the rectac or whatever pit or smoker that you're using. And cooking times, like I said, is going to vary. In this case, very large Brussels sprouts are going to take somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes at 350 to start out with, and then we're going to go to 400. Reason for that is we're trying to soften the Brussels sprouts and make them nice and edible. And then with the 400, we're trying to finish them so they become a little bit crispy. We're gonna go ahead and dice our bacon up, and that's gonna make it so it mixes in with everything really nicely. All right, so with our reduction, after it's reduced to about 1/3 of its original volume, we're gonna go ahead and let it cool for a little bit. And then I'm gonna use a funnel, and what I like to do is pour it in one of these squeeze bottles. This allows you to use it and plate things in a really wonderful looking appearance because this balsamic vinegar is multi-purpose, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So after about 15 minutes or until the Brussels sprouts are nice and soft, you're gonna turn the temperature up to 400 and bring them up to the doneness that you want. Like I said, I like them a little darker with a little more crisp.
So there's our Brussels sprouts straight off the grill. Now it's time to go ahead and finish these things. Now I will tell you, I like mine a little darker. They're not burnt. They're just kind of, heavily roasted, and they're gonna have a little bit of a crisp to them, like a kale chip, if you've ever had a kale chip. But the flavor is gonna be absolutely amazing. And those leaves that I put on there individually that weren't attached to the actual Brussels sprout anymore, those are they're like the candy of the whole dish. Once we get it all finished up, the flavor is just absolutely amazing. They have like a smoky bitterness, and when we put this sauce and this bacon all together with these, the sweetness, the smoky bitterness, it's an amazing, amazing finish. I know what they taste like because I've made them a lot, but I gotta do this on camera tasting so I can let you guys know exactly how they taste in the moment. So first I'm just gonna try a Brussels sprout by itself. That's good. All the way around the Brussels sprout is loaded with flavor with that balsamic reduction, and we coated them with balsamic and oils, tossed them in the seasoning. You can get all of that, and that smokiness on the outside it just kind of tops it off. But the way that you really set off just about any food, because it always makes everything better, is you add bacon. So do a little bacon, Brussels sprout, and I can smell it. It's just amazing. The flavor's just... That is a legit dish. And you can put that out at parties, for dinner, with your family. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have a lot of people that see it and think, Brussels sprouts? Ugh, I ain't eating that. Been there, done that. But those are the ones that lose out. The The dish is an absolutely phenomenal dish, and you have to try it in order to judge it. I'm telling you, this takes vegetables to a whole nother level. It's a healthy barbecue, well, healthy, depending on how much bacon you put in there. But it's a healthy, wonderful barbecue dish. The fat from the bacon really kind of just blends well with everything. And, I kept it pretty simple. The balsamic reduction, let me give you a tip on the balsamic reduction. Use it on everything. Use it on steaks, use it on chicken, use it on pork, use it on fish. It's absolutely the best on fish. Use it on vegetables, make a whole bunch of it. Make sure you boil it down so it's about a third of to where you started as far as volume. And man, you can put that in that squeeze bottle that's in the fridge and bring that out. And after you leave it in the fridge for a while, it kind of gels up and gets nice and thick. That is the real deal. You can put that on so much stuff. You gotta say though, right? Like if you're at a party and you see a dish of Brussels sprouts and you've never really tried Brussels sprouts, the bacon would draw you in, right? It would me. You find yourself in this situation where you have, meat set out at a party or at dinner for your family, and, you need something that kind of goes with that meat as far as a side. We usually at least have one side, and a side like this is perfect. You can serve this with almost anything. It has bacon, and bacon makes everything better. So you definitely need to try this dish, guys. I really appreciate you checking out the video. Thanks for spending time with me. And I hope that if you enjoyed the video, you'll share the video with your family and friends. Drop me a like down below. Ask me a question in the comments. And I can't wait to see you next time.